My mother died almost 31 years ago, and when she died, somehow I ended up with her Ouija board. And then it was in a house fire. But somehow, out of all the things we lost in that house fire, it survived. And the other night, we got it out. Welcome to Truly Terrified, Paranormal versus Physics, where we talk about some really weird stuff and Joe the scientist explains how it's not possible, or maybe it is. I'm Lynn and...
I'm Joe.
Okay, so my mom's Ouija board survived the house fire with some smoke damage and some water damage. And we got it out. And
it worked.
And it worked.
I mean, like...
Well, it worked.
It's functional.
It worked. It did work. And we recorded it as a video, and we're going to do it as a live, but we had some technical issues that prevented us from doing that. But if you're listening to this podcast on YouTube, you will get some inserted video of that session of us playing with the Ouija board. If you're listening on some other platform like Spotify or Stitcher or Pandora, you will not get those images, obviously. Let's jump into it. We got it out. We set it up. We put a piece of glass over it to try and minimize or erase any effect from the rippling that was caused by being in a house fire.
And I thought the glass worked fine.
Yeah, I thought it worked pretty good. Although I did find a really cool solution for the little feet.
What?
You can get little ball-bearing feet.
Oh, that makes total...
Yeah.
Because I can feel it now. I can feel it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yes, there's just that little bit of resistance. Okay, so...
And it's the glass. If you put like, I don't know, saran wrap over it or something, glass and saran wrap or something like that.
I don't know.
It wouldn't cause that like adherence or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's important you have minimal friction because some people I was doing it with, it felt like restricted, like you had to break friction.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go over who all was there. So you and I were there, and my oldest daughter, Christina, and her daughter, Libby, and Libby's boyfriend, Colin, and Christina's son, Saoirse. He was there for a little while.
He was there the whole time, wasn't he?
No, he left early.
Really?
It's like if we had dowsing rods, but it's like multiplayer dowsing rods. You could imagine like one hand, and then you have the other hand, and then it's like
fun.
It's like consensus.
Okay.
Really?
He said.
Oh, he had to go to work.
He said no. He said it was too hot in here, and it was because we had the fan off.
It was the spirit.
No, it was for audio. We sat down and we each took a turn doing it, and some of us seemed to have better results than others. Correct?
Yeah. Well, think about dowsing rods. Some people are going to have better, like for instance, if somebody's really adversarial about the process and they just tilt their hands, that dowsing rods aren't going to work.
That's true.
If somebody sits down and just has heavy fingers on the planchette, whatever, it's not going to move.
Deliberately. I can feel you going along with it.
But
that's not the point.
I'm not fighting it.
The point is, we are conduits for any motion.
That's right. Conduits. We're conduits. Oh, come on.
Okay. Next question.
It's not like it's a magical force moving the thing around. I mean, it might be, but your fingers have to move too,
Yeah. We had minimal, I'm making air quotes, contact. But the one most remarkable thing we had was that it said that it was a person that we all know who died in 2020. And that he had a message, he had unfinished business, and he had a message he wanted us to get to somebody, and the initials of that somebody were CB. And I couldn't think of anybody with the initials of CB, but after doing some research later, I discovered that in fact he had a cousin with those initials, and I had actually met her at one point in my life. That was interesting, but we don't know what the message was. So that was kind of pointless. It was really kind of pointless. When you followed a line of questioning, yours was you wanted an historical figure.
Did I say historical figure? I just wanted, maximum bang for the
I thought
one
maybe you were looking
trial.
for somebody you could confirm had actually lived.
That's an added benefit.
Okay, so what do you think was going on? When you put your hands on there, you know, you can feel something. Sometimes you can feel something.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't feel anything.
What I was doing at first was just kind of lightly touching the thing, the planchette, whatever.
It's a French word. It means little plank.
But then the savvier way to do it is to feel it. If it feels like it wants to move in one direction, then you go in that direction. So if two people were doing that, presumably they'd come to a consensus and then they'd follow it. So the one person's following the other person who's following the first person, you know. So it's not like one person's controlling it, but you're both controlling it essentially.
Do you have a message for one of us?
Ooh.
Give the initial of who the message is to.
If you have a message for one of us, could you please say, well, if they don't know how to spell, and they frequently don't know how to spell.
Yeah. We got Resug.
What?
What are you doing here? Resug.
And I think regardless whether it's a supernatural phenomenon or whatever, that's what's happening. I mean, it's probably not like a ghost shooting ectoplasm at the thing moving it. It's probably them suggesting you, and then you being suggestible move it, you know?
I think
So-
it's probably the same process, whatever that process is, that allows someone to do remote viewing, or allows someone to do, as you mentioned before, the dowsing rods.
Or scrying or whatever.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's not the thing itself. That's
Yeah.
just a tool. It's what you're capable of, and then you are actually directing it. So when people say you're moving it, yeah, I think you're
You
moving
are
it.
moving it, but
Yeah.
but are you deliberately controlling it? Now you can.
You absolutely can.
You definitely can. Like that thing where you feel it, like it's almost all somebody has to do is lightly
Yeah,
go in that direction. If the other person is also amplifying
yeah,
the movement, then it will go in that direction.
yeah.
Like I did it funnily as a joke once, but you know, moving it, and it was obvious. But at every other point, I was not. And it moves, and it moves to things like yes, no. I noticed Chrissy, hers when doing it with her tended to go towards her. So
Interesting.
it tended to not come the other way. So maybe it's like she has a bias towards that direction, or I don't know.
So who do you think it worked best with that you did it
You
with?
and I.
Yeah.
Can you ask about the house fire? Since it was burned, maybe it has some other personal connection to it.
Do you have a personal connection to the house fire? My house fire?
Hey.
It's on the
I think that's a personal connection to you.
Yeah.
But that's because I was deliberately trying to amplify any movement, and you had been listening to me ramble on about that. So maybe you were too.
I don't know. I don't think I was deliberately trying to do anything. I may have subconsciously tried to do something.
This is what I mean. If you sit there with your fingers on the thing, just resting on the thing, you don't like try to let it move or anything. It will just sit there. I mean, it really will. It will just sit there. It's not like it's not telekinesis from a ghost. But if you are like saying, okay, this, you know, two people are going to move it, I'm going to move it, they're going to move it, we're going to move it together, but not deliberately controlling it to go in one place, then you can, you know, you feel when it wants to move and you let it move, you know?
Yeah.
You could just as easily resist that movement,
Yes.
but if you want it to effectively, quote unquote, effectively work, you have to feel it out, you know? And so anyway, that's why I think Like I was deliberately trying to feel it out. And you probably, because again, you had heard me talking about that, you were probably doing the same at some level.
Yeah, probably.
So that's interesting. What would that mean?
Well, what did it say?
It's not related to Lindy, but it's related to Mama.
And it's not related to any of the men in the room,
Maybe
which would be the connection.
it means.
Because if they're related to Mama, they're related to the men in the room.
Well,
Not him.
not me.
No.
I do think that there were a few things that we did, and I think you started it, that really seemed to help make it more effective. And one of the things was to when you first sat down with another person, so the first time there was a new thing, is to kind of move it around and get the feel of it.
Yeah,
and
who was it? Christian Levy or Christian Sersher or something? I told them to do it, to spell something out, and for whatever reason they struggled getting to one of the letters on that side of the board. If a ghost's directing you, they won't be able to spell that, you know? So you have to like really get it.
Yeah.
Did you
pretty good.
send me a message when I went to the Grand Canyon? I'm gonna absolutely
That's
cry.
what the rainbow was. What does the rainbow mean?
Just a message. Just a message.
You have to understand how to move the planchette, whatever, together, synchronize. You know, like Saoirse and I got better results after we did that, quote unquote results. And I could feel like once we had done that, it's like the circle exercise. You do a circle. At first, it was like, okay, I could feel resistance.
Let's try. It's that vibrating hardcore. It almost makes my fingers hurt. Do you feel that? I mean, it's like almost. Okay. Yep. I gotta stop for a minute. It really, that last vibration, it made my hands hurt.
Okay, Colin, your turn.
What
Colin and Libby.
if he's not done with the message?
Well, we'll go back to him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We gotta rest our arms.
But then once I went in, it deliberately directed us to go in a circle, then I could feel he was anticipating it going in a circle, and I could feel it go in a circle. And then I would have to then like break it to go and do something else. And interestingly, if then I think I did like a sine wave pattern or something, and then I could feel him adapt to the pattern and then perpetuate it.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to do, you know, you have to have like a model of how it's moving with the other person.
Yeah,
So yeah, definitely the exercises I think are crucial.
Should we do exercise?
Maybe.
And push it back?
Yes, it's telling you to exercise.
My hands keep slipping.
You need more finger on that, Libby.
Oh,
You really need more finger on it.
I feel like if I put too much finger on, then it's not.
No, because that's the conduction, is the pads of your fingers. And you'll start to feel it after a while of doing it.
Is this like a?
Alright, ask the question.
How many are? I don't know how to ask questions.
How many ghosts are in this house?
What if they're not
Oh
ghosts?
man, what if it went really high number?
Or what if it
There
isn't
have
at
only
all?
ever been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who lived in this house, besides us.
Consider the number of squirrels who died in this location.
We're not talking the
How many?
squirrels.
How many squirrels have died?
Was someone murdered here? It's a question.
You're so funny.
when I did it with Libby, I felt like, and she was just putting her she's got long fingernails, and she was just putting her fingernails on the edge of it. And of course, it wasn't doing anything. And so I kept telling her, you have to put your pads on. And then she would just put barely touching. And I think that was another thing that you really have to, it's a light pressure, but there has to be pressure there. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to move it. Unless you made a planchette that had finger holes and you had fingers,
That
would be wild.
So I think, again, it's like the general principle is you have to actually, it's not passive. It's an active thing.
I have a knack, unfortunately.
You do. You and my mom.
I'm an empath.
Did you ever do it with my mom? She was good.
Yeah. Oh, you want to do it, Saoirse?
I'll do it one more time, and then we'll go back. I'm dying of heat.
Okay.
It's hot.
It is hot, I know.
All right.
You're feeling it, and you're feeling which way it wants to move. Now, if the other person is doing it too, there's this cooperation where you're feeling like little micro movements from them. They're moving, doing the same for you. So if you're lightly touching the thing, if you're too lightly touching the blanket, then you won't be able to feel where it's moving, and they won't be able to then feel your feedback, and
So
it
then
won't go anywhere.
It won't go anywhere. All my life, people have acted like Ouija boards are terrifying. They're portals to hell or something, or demons can come through it.
Or something.
But because I grew up with my mom doing the Ouija board, I never viewed it as being evil or anything else. It was just a tool, and it was a tool that at different times I thought maybe it was spirits coming through, but mostly I just really felt like you're harnessing something you're already capable of, and you're harnessing in a way that you can then, understand what the message is that you're getting or you have.
Did you die with unfinished business?
Is there something we can help you finish? Yes. Do you want us to contact someone?
That's on yes.
Are you able to give us an initial of the name of the person you want us to contact?
See.
Is that a boy? I feel like it wants to. It feels like it wants to go no. I don't know why, but it just feels like it's trying to move, but it's not. Is that a girl? No, I see a girl. No, it wouldn't be me. Is it someone in your will? question for him. Would you like us to contact your brother in regards to your unfinished business?
Did you at any time when we were doing it feel creeped out or scared
No.
or nervous?
Yes. I had drank maybe 3 things of Kool-Aid, and I was thinking, you know what? I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. It was creeping me out that I had so much sugar in me. But like not from like demons or spirits or whatever.
Okay, me neither. Not even remotely. But I was creeped out by the fact that it was so hot in here. It was so unbelievably hot in here.
I don't know why. Maybe the extra people.
It
I
must
didn't
have been
sense that.
extra people, and the house was closed up because it was the evening, so you know there wasn't an airflow or anything. It was just seemed really warm. Or maybe that was I was perceiving that as heat, and it was a psychological response to just being around so many people in a very small room. You know, that never happens to me. Did you have bad dreams that night?
Did I have bad dreams that night? I can't remember. I know I've had, so like I usually go to bed at 5:30,
And that is because you get up at?
2 a.m.
Yes, okay.
So at 5, the difference between 5:30 and 7, whatever, might be slight, but it affects you staying up.
How many squirrels have died in this location?
The squirrel.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What's your question?
It really.
1?
100 million.
That's
It appears that I have no.
That's a
10 billion and 1 squirrels. It actually makes sense. Okay.
10.
Question is this.
See, it's like you almost do have to actually feel where it wants to go. Like it does feel like it wants to go this way. If you do this,
Close your eyes, Sergio.
and then you just feel like it's very weak, or is that it? JW4?
So in the night before, we had, what did we do?
We went out to eat.
We went out to eat. So we went out to eat, and then so I didn't sleep well that night. And then
Yeah, another night.
Another night. So like at both of those nights, I had like a bad time sleeping. I think I had sleep paralysis one night, but I don't know which night it was. Maybe it was Glenn possessing or Furia possessing me.
That's an interesting point. So we asked for Glenn, didn't show.
True.
We asked for Glenn's mother or grandmother, didn't show. We asked if there was really a grave in the yard. It said yes, but it didn't say the name.
Yeah.
So
Perhaps it's a good sign. Glenn is gone to a better place.
okay, but I did have a weird experience
And
afterwards.
what was it?
I'm still surprised. What was it? Genuine? I'm still getting bitches.
Stop.
Yes.
It was genuine and still getting bitches. Oh well, I asked it because I was one of the questions I asked when Joe and Saoirse was doing it was, do you still get bitches after you're dead? And it went to yes. I was like,
God, Colin.
I was like,
Well, first of all, it was past my bedtime too. Everybody left, and then I realized I had not finished my walking goal for that day, so I went out and walked on the treadmill for a while. And then I started texting with Carrie, my middle daughter. And so we're having a conversation and texting and talking about something. In fact, I don't even think we brought up the Ouija board. I don't even think she asked how it went.
Okay. All right. So
Ask
whenever you're ready.
for historical figure.
Well, we say, is anyone?
Fingers are on it.
Okay. Is anyone there? Is anyone there? Is there anyone there that wants to talk to us?
How about this? You two spell out hello.
I think we have to look at it to spell.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you do it, just and feel how it feels. See that? Resistance? Can't even, there's like a range where your arms don't, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the spirit can't,
Mm-hmm.
you know, manipulate you.
Is there anyone there willing to listen?
She probably didn't even think we did it because we weren't able to go live or didn't know that we did it. So we're having a conversation. And so this is like 9:30 at night, which is late for me because usually I'm in bed by 8 and I fall asleep by 9. So I fell asleep in the middle of that texting conversation. And when I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, the phone was laying next to me and I pushed the on button so I could see what time it was. And the first thing that came up was that conversation. And I saw, oh, Carrie made one more remark that I don't remember reading because I'd fallen asleep. And I read it, and beneath that, in the place where you put you text in, you know, you type in your response, there was a response that I had made or my phone had made that I certainly did not make. And as I recall, it said, "There are no answers, are there, L? Question mark. Letter K? Question mark." Okay. First of all, I don't text that way. I'm the laziest frickin' texter there is. I usually don't use any kind of punctuation. I don't, and that's not the way I even respond to people. Maybe in person I might say something kind of snarky like that, but I mean, that's just not the way I am.
Here, Joey, try it with me.
Does it just not like me?
No, it might be that your arms are too short to really move it around.
I can move it just fine. I just think I don't want to consciously move it. Move how you call it.
That, I mean, that's kind of the point. Maybe. Okay. Are there any historical figures there?
Oh, okay. Try it again.
Sorry.
Yeah, see, I can feel it going this way. Like you can kind of probe it and feel, and then you amplify. Naturally, not deliberately.
And so that was out of character for how I speak. So I thought, maybe someone else texted me and somehow I copy and pasted it in my sleepy state and put it in there. So I looked through all my messaging areas, email, other texting platforms, Instagram, TikTok, everything. Nope, nobody did.
Do you have like a clipboard? Maybe you accidentally copied something to the clipboard on your phone, and then when it popped up to for the keyboard thing, you click the middle button to paste it in. You know what I mean?
I did not try just pasting, which might have been an interesting thing. I didn't because I already had moved on. I took a screenshot.
Although it would have had to be exactly that, literally.
It would have had to been exactly that, and it would have had to already been copied and I was in the messaging platform. So
and why?
Why? But I suppose if it was already copied and I was in the messaging platform and I pushed my thumb, relaxed my thumb as I fell asleep into that I might have done that. But no, I don't have anything. I can't even imagine.
It feels like it's done with that.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Yes,
A
but it was-
historical figure.
So I was thinking it was like, you know, FV and then Rhea, but
Furia. Okay, Furia.
Furry.
Where are you from? P.
H.
It's or maybe it's Fizz. Oh, it's place name. PH.
Philadelphia?
Philadelphia.
I was thinking about that when it said PH, but then it said S.
Well, what's the S?
Is that like a town?
Are you from Philadelphia?
That I don't remember that. I don't like copy and paste stuff all day long. So that was really weird. Okay, so what would be the meaning of, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly what it said, but I will look it up. What would be the meaning of there's no answer, is there, L? Well, my name is Lynn. That begins with an L, okay. But there was somebody else at our house that night whose name begins with an L, and that is Libby. There was somebody else whose name begins with a K, and that was Colin. So that was, there's a coincidence that might be meaningful, might not be.
Like you thought maybe you were texting her.
No, like I thought a message was for her and Colin.
I mean, like, consider this. The party, whatever was on your mind, you woke up slightly in that stage where you can't really remember things, and you thought you were on, you thought maybe you had dreamt Libby had texted you, and now you were texting her, and of course she said something about the party, about the Ouija board or something, and that's why you...
No, that didn't happen. It says, exact quote, and with perfect punctuation, there's no answer, comma, is there, L, question mark, K, question mark?
How about this? Autocorrect.
Okay,
Next
I
text
tried
prediction.
that. We tried that predictive text. Christine and I sat there, and my predictive text on here does not work the same as hers. I've got what do I have? A Samsung. She's got an iPhone, and it doesn't work the same. And she is able to just put one letter in, and it'll be a list of words, and then so she can just click on those words. Mine is not. One letter will not bring up a list of words. It's not, or maybe I don't text as much as hers, so mine can't predict as well as hers.
It's a good thing history is Colin's specialty.
Were you a politician? That makes sense. Were you a scientist? Were you a writer?
But it doesn't spell very good. I'm not trying to be insulting.
Mean you are
It
very
doesn't mean-
successful.
Well, historical writer who died in
D.
B.
37. I think it's saying yes.
Okay.
I think it's pointing to yes.
There was a guy who died or was born in 1737 and signed the Declaration of Independence. He was named Charles, but he wasn't from.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't from Philadelphia.
Say, say historical writers from Philadelphia.
You freaked out?
What was that?
There's bumps all the time in here. It's probably squirrels or something.
I know for the squirrel.
Let's flip it around and ask him how old he was when he died.
Yeah, good point.
Did you try typing in theirs and then just clicking?
Yes. Yeah.
it didn't come up with
No,
that.
that's not how mine works. And Carrie suggested maybe it was speech to text. And she said, maybe you were talking in your sleep. And so I mumbled into the phone, and then I tried to talk into the phone, and it did not. It just sounded like when I mumbled into the phone, it just didn't work at all. It was just mumbled words, or jumbled words, and it was meaningless. So I don't know where that came from. I don't know what it's about. I don't know who it's for, if it's for anybody. I don't know. But that was the most interesting thing. And it doesn't scare me. I don't understand why people are scared of a tool, because your pencil can do the exact same thing. If you sit down and put a pencil on a piece of paper and you close your eyes and you just start your hand moving, your hand will keep moving and it will start making words.
Easy, right?
Ooh, you made guacamole.
It's not really guacamole.
Here, let's spell the word cave.
I wasn't very
Oh, there
good,
it's-
so-
I don't know where the E is. Okay. It's an exercise, get it, ebb and flow. You notice something that happens frequently is this. What's the likelihood that it's always back and forth? Rather than let's spell the word nope. N-O-P-E, all one direction.
Well, I kind of feel like most people are afraid of the inviting trouble aspect. Oh, here's a demon. Come on over, demon, let's talk to you. You don't want that. You know what I mean? Now, it's contingent upon your beliefs of what's going on with the Ouija board, your beliefs of what you could interact with the Ouija board. So, like me, I don't have a particular high confidence reason why any particular outcome with the Ouija board is the outcome you get, but I don't particularly believe in demons, so I wouldn't be afraid.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid. I'm totally not afraid.
Did you write for newspapers?
No newspapers.
What was the first letter of your first name? So do you want to do the Ouija board again?
Yeah, I think it's fun.
It was fun. I think that there are two things that I think we should do next time, and not have as many people in the room at the same time. I felt like there were so many people, or maybe it's that everybody wasn't on the same page of experimenting with it. I think there were too many people there with conflicting reasons for being there.
Well, you did just kind of invite people.
Yeah, I'm not faulting anybody. I had no idea what was going to happen or how it was going to happen. So next time, I don't care about anonymous people from a long time ago who died by hanging and had a club foot. Those things, that's the type of thing I see on Reddit that people tell about their experiences. Who cares? That is completely irrelevant to me. I'm sure throughout history there have been a lot of people who have had strange lives, and I don't care. I mean, they're valuable, they're human, but I don't care. That has no bearing on me. I would want to have something that has bearing on me.
I just hurt.
Wait. Are you human?
Not anymore.
Were you human?
They could have been.
Furia, the Philadelphian writer alien.
It could have been an animal.
Why not? Animals have souls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't typically write for a newspaper.
We don't know that.
True.
Maybe it's from another planet.
Is Glenn here? Glenn is the man who lived in this house, and he wanted desperately to come home before he died, and he was not allowed to. Well, okay, did Glenn come home? Is that Glenn's dad buried in the yard? Did grandma die in this house? Glenn's grandma, that is. Those are interesting things to me because that directly relates to me. Or somebody that I know who has died. That directly relates to me. I don't care about the author of essays from 1757. Furia, yeah, I don't care about that.
I think that a Ouija board is a fun party activity, as long as you don't believe you can be possessed, which I don't.
If you think you'd be possessed, do you think you could be possessed?
If you don't think,
what does it matter if you think they could be possessed?
Well, then they wouldn't want to do it. They wouldn't go to that party.
It wouldn't be fun either. Okay.
Well, it might be fun to make them do it, because I know they're not going to be possessed.
Okay. Thanks for listening and viewing, you guys. Our contact information is in the show notes. You can email us, text us, or even call and leave a 3-minute voicemail. And as always, if you have a story you want to tell, send it to us. Please share, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and never be so terrified you can't run.